Let's talk about generics. Alright, we found us back in Hytale once more, and in this video, we're going to be talking about generics. Generics are a very complicated topic to fully cover, so hopefully I'm just going to be able to introduce to you the concepts when we talk about generics. What does that mean? And in a high-level overview, these are a variable for data types. What does that mean? Well, when we think back to our collections, for example, that we had lists, right? And those had the diamond operator over here. Those were generics. So we can put, for example, in a string over here, questions, for example, right? That is what we remember. Now, the string that we put in here, the data type that we put in here in a generic, that is basically determining what the data type of those different variables are, right? So usually when we define a variable, we have to say, hey, this is a string name over here, boom, right? Now, there is one more thing I'm just going to sort of make a little bit of a tangent over here, where you can literally just say var, and then you can say, for example, well, maybe not name, and then age 10 over here, and the program just figures out that this is an integer. I really do not like the use of the var keyword. This is why I basically haven't really gone into this at all. And I really always recommend you specifically say, hey, listen, this is the specific type. However, sometimes we run into the thing where, well, a list over here is always going to be, in some capacity, if we were to make a specific list for integers, then we would have to make a custom class for this, and then another one for string. And now all of a sudden I have now a custom objects, I have an animal, and I want to make a list of animals. That's a little tedious and kind of weird. So what we can do is, when we use generics in a custom class, we can make it so that we are able to use whatever data type we give that. So you're going to see that in just a second. What we're going to do is we're going to make a sort of I don't know if it's a contrived example again, but let's just see. So let's just make a new Java class over here. We're going to call this the block. So we think of this as the block. And I will actually copy over the contents of this. You will see very, very straightforward. It just has a type over here, right? A string. And then we can basically output this with the toString method. So we can just very easily output a block. And we'll actually get over a couple more classes over here. This is, I think, one of the two only times we're actually going to copy stuff over. I have everything as per usual in the description below. So below, you find the gist, you find the GitHub repository. So we will copy over the potion, the stone block, the sword, as well as the wood block. So those are the different classes that we wanted to copy over. And the two other ones we're going to create in just a second. You will see they are very, very straightforward. Potion over here, easy, sword, easy, and stone block, even easier because it just extends from the block class as well as the wood block. So you can see all of those are very, very straightforward. Nothing complicated over here. However, the complicated stuff is going to happen right now. So now I wanted to make a custom class that specifically stores items and blocks. So we're going to make a new class, and I'm going to call this the item storage here in this case. Boom. Now this item storage is going to be generic, right? So because I want to have this be generic, I'm going to put the diamond operator at the end of the class over here. I'm going to put in a T. Now this T, that's exactly basically a placeholder for whatever type we want this item storage to be. So we can make a private list over here. Now, in this case, well, we don't have an item class, and the item storage can be of whatever we want. So we're just going to use T over here because T, as you can see, this is the type parameter of item storage. So a type parameter means that this can take on whatever data type you want. So this is why I said it is a variable for data types. It's a little bit of a, it's not exactly correct that is that, but hopefully that's sort of the idea that you can sort of wrap your mind around. Now we can get an item, and what we can do is make now this is going to be our list of items. Then we make a public item storage over here, and this is going to be the following. It's going to do this.items is equal to a new array list in this case, just for the sake of argument. And then what we can do is we can add an item. How do we add an item? Well, a public void add item method over here. And what is the data type of item? It's T. We don't know what it is, but we're going to accept anything. So we say T item, right? So this T, like I said, is the data type, but it is because it is a generic, it can be whatever we want. Items.add, and this has to be a T. Sure. So we can add the item over here. Boom. And we can also print this out just for the sake of argument. Added item to the storage, just for the sake of argument over here. And then we can also, let's just add a public void display items method just so that we have all of them to display. So we can say items in the storage and those are then going to be 4. Now we're going to do a for each loop. So for each T item, because once again, the data type of the item over here is T. We don't know what it is right now, but we will know it once we actually make a new item storage. This is going to be items over here, and then we can just say S out, and we do item. There we go. So that's going to make sort of a list of items here. And that's the item storage made in this instance. Now we can take this entire thing and we're going to make a block storage of this as well. So I'm just going to actually copy over this. I'm going to make a new Java class called the block storage. And we can paste this in. Of course, we need to change the names over here, right? So this is now block storage. This is now block storage. Then we have a add block right here. So this is just changing the names over here, blocks. But there's going to be one more thing that we're going to change, which is going to be very, very interesting indeed. This is going to be the block in blocks, because obviously this is now a block. So basically all of the instances here are just changed. Blocks, this is blocks, finally blocks over here. And this is a block. Easy enough. So having changed all of this, now we have a block storage. But here I want to specifically say, listen, 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 buddy. Whatever data type you put in here, I'm okay with it as long as it extends the block class. Oh, now it gets interesting, doesn't it? Because now we can actually also sort of restrict the types of data that we can put into a block storage, which makes sense. It's a block storage, right? So those can only be of the type of block in this case. In our case, that would be a stone or a wood block. Okay, so this is making custom generics. We don't really necessarily ever need to make custom generics, but hopefully this sort of illustrates the point that the T right here represents any data type that you want in this case. And in this case, the T represents a data type that has to extend from the block class. So if we were to take this to our main class over here, our main method, we can make a item storage of the type sort. This is going to be our sort rack. Easy enough. This is a new item storage. So far, nothing crazy. Now we can add those items. Sort rack, add item, and we're going to make a new item over here, a new sword in this case. This is going to be our iron sword. Boom. That's nothing, no issue whatsoever. We're going to add another sword, diamond sword. Boom. And then we're going to say sort rack dot display items. Let's just see what happens. And what happens? Everything is totally fine. We added the sword, iron sword, and then we added the diamond sword. Okay. If I now were to try to add a potion, right? A new potion. Does this work? No. Why does this not work? Well, because we require the type of sword, because that's what we've defined right here in the item storage. Interesting. Okay. If we were to sort of abstract this out and we would make an item class, and now the sword and the potion would both extend from that, all of a sudden it would work. But I specifically chose this example so that you see when you define the generic once, then it is set in stone, right? But beforehand, right, when you program this, then it's a variable. That's sort of the idea. Then it's a generic, right? It's generic. It can be whatever you want it to be. Item storage of type potion, and this is the potion storage, let's say, equal to a new item storage here in this case, once again. And here the same thing, right? Potion storage.add. We're going to add the new potion of health potion, and we're going to add the new potion of strength potion, let's say. Boom. And finally, potion storage.display items. And once again, if we were to run this, we can see added potion right here, added potion right here, and then we get all of our potions right there. Now, the real cool generic stuff happens with the block in this case. Why? Well, if we have a block storage, we remember this can only extend from the block. So we can make this a block storage for every block, right? So this is now just our block storage here, a new block storage, totally fine. And then we can add blocks over here, and we can make a new wood block, and we can make another new wood block, and then we can make a new stone block, and maybe another new wood block, and another new stone block, like this, for example. That all works. Why? Well, once again, the only thing that the block storage cares about is that what is stored inside of it is at least extends from the block class. Both of our stone block extends from the block class, as well as the wood block also extends from the block class. So both of those can easily be put in there. And finally, we can also say block storage.display blocks. And if we were to run this, also no issues. We got wood, wood, stone inside of our storage. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, what is the real sort of thing that you should take away from the generics right here? basically speaking, every time you see the, the diamond operator, the angled brackets, that basically means that there's some sort of generic at play, meaning you specify a data type inside of the diamond operator that then gets used for the variables inside of that class. You don't always need to know what that entails. However, let's say the list over here, we can control left click or middle mouse button click on this and actually go into the list class, and you can see this is a E over here, an add over here, right, which also has to be E, because E, or the uppercase E, is the data type. That's the whole idea. This is the data type that we specify right here, and it can be whatever data type we want. So hopefully when I say it's a variable for data types, what I mean by that is that you can basically define the data type once you create the object. During the making of the class, you actually don't care about the data type unless you basically specify, hey, this has to extend from this particular class in this case. That is the case that you could ask for that, right? I've never really found, custom generics to be too useful. I always basically, most of the time, you really only are going to deal with them by having classes that already have those, right? For example, lists, or as we've seen before, for example, the map, right? So if we have a map over here, we now have two generics, right? Where we map, let's say, from an integer to a string over here, right? So those things where we have two different generics, in this case, the key type as well as the value type, right? So this is the type of the keys maintained by this map, and this is the type of the mapped values. So that's sort of so as a high-level concept, generics can be very complicated. Using them on your own can also be quite complicated, but most of the time, when you understood, okay, what does this mean? It sometimes looks a little crazy, especially when you have like different methods that return like if we were to go into the map, for example, you can see some of the methods over here look quite crazy because this is like put all, and then this is a map that it does this and this. So like this is crazy stuff, right? Because the question mark basically means this is a wildcard generic, which can even be crazier. So there are definitely a lot of things to do with generics. Listen, if after this particular video you're like, okay, I'm still not 100% sure generics are what the frick is going on with them. The cliff notes are when you see the diamond operator, you put in a specific data type, and then the class turns into that data type. Sometimes it can be very complicated, and if we ever run into those issues when we're doing Minecraft mods or when we're doing Hytale mods, that's totally fine. We will then talk about that when we get there, basically. I will also give you further reading down below so you have some other things to check out as well. I highly recommend generics are quite crazy. They can be quite crazy, but yeah. That is going to do it for this video though. Still hope you found this useful and you learned something new. I'll see you all in the next video. So, yeah.